This is Ifwa with the Razzle Let's Play. This is a free-to-play casual game available on the mobile platform. It was developed by MAG Interactive in 2012, and it's available on Android, iOS, and Windows. Let's sign in and start playing. So Razzle is a fast-paced and fun word game where you can challenge your friends or strangers randomly paired by this game system for you. It is a social and a highly competitive game since players must interact with each other in order to fully enjoy the game of Razzle. Razzle is mainly dominated with occupational rules, behavior rules, and then fundamental rules. Fundamental rules which takes in charge of the scores that are given. So the system generates scores per player. Behavioral rules where a player is playing with another opponent, whether friends or not. And operational rules generally in order to play the game. The game takes place in a 2D continuous space where each move made by a player is accounted for as a score or null. There are some dynamic attributes that I see in the game, which are the different types of puzzles in every game played. There's a consistent change in puzzles, and also a change in players and a person can play with. Player can now select a new game, and in new game the player can decide to play with a random opponent. The player can decide to play with previous opponents they've ever played with. The player can play with Razzle friends because players can now create accounts where they can interact with other people. A player can also choose to play with Facebook friends that who have the app, or just play a practice mode where they practice with words. All this adds up to make Razzle a very social game and also competitive in nature. A player can select the random opponent play, so we are going to try that first. Let's see. In playing the game, a player has time 2 minutes per round. So as you can see on the top left corner, the time is reading. And in playing the game, a player must have the skills of having good vocabulary or being very fast at putting together words in order to succeed extremely. Razzle is indeed, I'll say, a game of chance, because a person can get a player who is extremely good or extremely bad at word formation, and also with the scores per word, a player can have a lot of different bonus scores per word in one gameplay or none. So then in playing this, I see I have quite a few, so it works in my play. So I'd say it had some game of round of play. How a player did is shown, like a result of the player's actions are shown by the player's experience, the player's accuracy as to how accurate each word they played was, the longness of a player's word, ink gained, and swipe distances, how long each word was, and then their best word. And also the total number of words is always calculated against how many words a person formed. After every game played, a player is awarded with Razzle tokens. This serves as a motivation for a player to continue playing the game. In order to view an instant replay of the game that was just played, so for a player to view any game that he or she has played, a player would need 200 tokens to view that. If a player has not enough tokens to make an action, the option of player buying tokens is also available. This brings us to the business model of the game. This type of business model is known as the revenue logic model, particularly a freemium, where the game is free to download and free to play, but in order to reach some expectations or in order to reach some capacities of a player, the player must make purchases to do so. In our case, the player having to buy more tokens in order to view his previous play. Another part of the game where we see this is the store. We would realize that in order for us to have access to a lot of words in Razzle, we would need 200 tokens, which we don't have yet, so would require us to pay for more tokens in order to make our purchases. It's the same also to replay as we saw previously. This is a way in which the developers of the game make money. Another way also that developers, especially developers of Razzle, make money through the game is through ad supports. So we can see under the screen that there is some advertisements rolling underneath. These developers charge other companies and other businesses in order to use their space to advertise their own products. Razzle tends to find another way in making money even when users do not want to see these advertisements. Users would have to be charged in order to avoid seeing these advertisements. These two marketing strategies, freemium and ad supported, help to sustain the developers of the game. Thank you for listening and watching my short video on Razzle Let's Play.